Hello there. In this video I'm going to talk about how I produce music. I'll start with playing one of my compositions, and that is an orchestral piece that is inspired by the Lord of the Rings. And I actually used a theme from Howard Shore as opening theme for my composition. Anyway, I will just play it first. Let's have a look at the individual instruments. With this composition, I started with composing the flute, which is like that Lord of the Rings theme. For this, I used the legato solo flute from Symphobia 2, and as you can see, there is like this volume control. And I also made use of the DXF control, which is the vibrato. I wanted to add like a warm string sound on top of this, so I just started with running some chords on each other, and then it sounds like this. And then it already sounds much warmer, and you really get like that orchestra sound of a full orchestra playing. I always try to make it more interesting, because like just playing chords like this is a bit boring. So then I added a melody here. And you also can hear that the strings really become much louder at this moment, because then it's following into the next part where the horns come in. Well, let's have a look at the horns first. For the horns, I used Symphobia 2 as well. Those horns just sound quite good by themselves. You don't need to do that much, just adjust the volume. And here the horns are like taking over the role of the flute as main melody. For all the body strings, like to fill everything up, I simply used the sustain soft dynamic patch from Symphobia 1. But for the melody, I always also layered like this melody with a dynamic sustain, and because the soft sustain has a really slow attack, and when you add the dynamic sustain, the attack is much faster. I also layered it with a maccato patch this time, but then you see that this patch is only coming in at the moment when the short noise is getting loud, so here it's getting loud again. And that's the same for the dynamic patch. The dynamic patch is loud at the moment there's short notes, but it's getting soft again at the moment after that, because then I wanted the soft sustain patch to like have the main role. Okay, structuring your music. It's always important to have some returning elements for the listener so they can hear like something they heard before. So one structure I use a lot is that my ending is the same as the beginning, which would be like an A-B-A structure. But you could also use like an A-B-A-B structure, or when you do this, you should never like literally copy the beginning and put it in the end. You should like use, for example, similar instruments but a slightly different melody. So what I did is that my strings here are playing the same chords and the same melody as they are playing here in the end, but the only difference is that the strings are much wider than they are here, so you can see that there. And I also made a different flute theme here. Okay, choosing chords. I didn't have any training for harmonics, so I just do everything by ear. And I always start in one scale, which was this time D sharp major. And at the end of this part, the horn comes in and there's like a mood change of the piece. So I transposed to D sharp minor, and major to minor gives it like a sad or dark feeling, which is, I'll just play it. Another thing is to get your piece to sound more realistic, it is important especially for the string body, like there it is important to give it like a certain pulse so that it swells and falls down again. And that's exactly what happens here, is that it's swelling and falling and so on. So you see like those waves, and then it sounds like this. To get your piece to sound more realistic is to change the tempo. Let's say for the end of a part, it's good to slow down, so that's what I did here at the end of the flute part. But then also when there are like more exciting parts, so that was right here when the horn is swelling. I made the tempo faster. And then it's falling down again after that, because the orchestra is also getting softer. Alright, and then I just have a few final tips for increasing your composition skills. What was really important for me is that I play the piano. It's especially when you play the work of other composers. If you play it, you can understand and learn a lot from those pieces. So playing any real instrument really helps in increasing your composition skills. Another thing that's really important is listening to music. Only by listening you can already learn a lot. Myself, I especially enjoy listening to classical music because classical music has such rich harmonies and melodies. Thank you for watching this tutorial. If you liked it and if it was helpful, please let me know because then I will make more tutorials.